Good morning, Monday morning stretchers. Hello, hello. I think I've got everything set up and working all right, so we will we'll see. Do a little hello in our chat box. There we go. I am uncharacteristically not only on time but a tad early, which if you speak to my father, on time is 5 minutes early. But yeah, it's not my strong suit. I don't aim to keep you all waiting, but sometimes, and usually it's my technical setup ability, it throws me out a wee bit. So we'll just sit tight for a few moments whilst we give you all a chance to get logged on. Let me just make sure that I've got the camera set up. I always do a backup recording of it as well, because I'm worried that if I mess it up, we're going to need a backup recording. So everything's set up and ready to go. Today's stretch, we are just going to be, we're going to do a full body stretch. So working from the top down, starting in standing, moving onto the mat, and then back up for a little bit of a kind of wake up, refresh, and then ready to start the rest of the day. Let me just check what little messages we've got. Morning, all loud and clear. Brilliant. Good to hear. So yes, that's our routine. Starting and standing onto the mat, back up. So pretty typical of what hopefully you're used to doing with us by now. If you are new here, my name's Sally. I'm a physiotherapist. And every Monday morning we do a live stretch together to set you up for the rest of the week. And then those stretches, those classes and sessions are uploaded in case you want to either catch up or watch again. You're not going to need any special equipment for today's routine, just a mat or a comfortable space on the floor to work in. We are going to get up and down off the floor. So if you want a piece of furniture nearby, maybe just to help you with that getting up and down, then make sure you've got that handy. If you're exercising alone, it's a good idea to have a method of communication nearby, so a phone, just in case you need to reach out for any help. Any of the movements that we do, if they feel uncomfortable, if they don't suit you, if they're painful, then you stop or you modify to something that suits you better. And of course, if you're not feeling well, then please do not take part, and you can always join in a little bit later on. Right, I think that's all we need to say and do before we get going. So our first thing is just to try and wake up our bodies a little bit. So a few little steps in place, and then let those feet settle in about hip width apart. Make sure the arms hang heavy, and you're going to open at the front of the chest. Lift up through the crown of the head, and we'll start with some shoulder rolls up, round and back. And again, this is just going to help us to open the front of your chest a little bit, waking up the muscles around the neck and the shoulders. Okay, we'll do one more of these shoulder rolls up, round and back, keeping the chest open. And then I want you to take a simple turn and look over one shoulder, back in the middle, and looking over the other shoulder and back in the middle. We'll do two more of those to either side. So getting as far as you can each way. Good, and then you're going to nod the chin down towards the chest, roll your ear to the shoulder one way, and roll the ear to the shoulder the other way. Good, just in that bottom half of a semicircle. One more each side. Lovely, and then back up into center again, taking the feet just a wee bit wider than hip width apart now, so we've got a really strong base of support in towards the floor. We're going to continue working on loosening our upper body, so I need you to make sure that you've got your room to move your arms out to the side and up above. We're going to do a movement that we call T, Y, let's really think about that, T, Y and W. And that will become clear in a minute. So your first movement, we're leading with the thumbs. We come up to shoulder height and then push the arms back. That's your T. And then you come down here. Next, you're going to make a Y shape. So the arms come up to shoulder height and then they go up and out. So you're in that diagonal, which gives you your Y shape. You come down, and then on W, we go up And then when we get to overhead, you're going to bend the elbows, pull in, and here's our W, and then you come down. I'm going to do it side on. We'll repeat that same movement again. So your T goes there and down and through. Your Y is there, and we allow a little bit of extension in the back. And you come down, and your W, we're pulling the arms in line with the body, a little bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades, and come back down. Let's do 3 more rounds of that one. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good, now to the Y. And then our W. Again, T. And back down. Y. And down. And then our W. Pull through. Good. Once more. Nice big movements. T. Lovely, and then you can let the arms hang heavy. We're going to bring the feet a little bit narrow again, so back to about hip width apart, hands onto your hips, and then I want you just to take a little wiggle. So you're going to bend one knee, and then bend the other one. Come side to side, so it's just a little wiggle in place like that, and you're pushing into the hip, side to side. Good. Keep going. So pushing into the side of the hip there, stretching out either side, just gets our hips moving a little bit. Wiggling our knees. 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. Good. And then we're going to open the gate. So it does take a little bit of a single leg stand. You can hold on to something for some balance if you need to. We're going to open that gate, circling the hip round, and then close the gate, bring it back down. Same leg, keep going. Up and round. Back and down. And again, up and round. Back and down. We'll do 2 more on this leg. Up and round. Back and down. Good stuff. And then we'll do the same on the other leg. 5, 4, each one. Up and round. Back and in. So that's 2. On to our 3rd set now, up and open, back and in, 2 more to go. Last one. Brilliant, well done. Okay, so we've loosened shoulders, we've done the neck, we've done our hips. We're going to try and lengthen up the backs of your legs a little bit with a roll down. So we're going back to a wider stance, wider than hip width apart, and you're going to stretch down towards the toes. So let the head and arms go floppy, let a little bit of softness in the knees, just get to the end of range, and then come back up again. Good. And you should feel that bit of a pull up the backs of the legs as you go. So down we go. Tailbone up towards the ceiling and come back up. It's also quite good to stretch out through the lower back with this one as well. Down we go. And come back up. 2 more. And up. One last one. And back up we come. Marvellous. All right, down onto the mat now. You're going to come onto your hands and knees, please. So down you come nice and carefully into a position where you've got your hands at about shoulder width apart and your knees at about hip width apart. I'd like you to tuck the toes underneath if you can, so that we get a little bit of a stretch through the ball of the foot, and then a nice simple cat stretch. You curve around the back. And then you release the opposite direction, lowering the breastbone, raising the eye line. And again, round you come. Pull the shoulder blades apart. Lift the ribs up to the ceiling. Push into the floor with your hands. And then release. Good. 3 more. Imagine you trying to push the floor away from you. Pull the chin in towards the chest. Tuck the tailbone underneath. and release. Go again. Breathe in when you get to this rounded back position, like you're trying to fill the lungs. And out as you release. We'll do one last one. Big breath in. Fill all the space in your ribs. And out you go. Lovely stuff. Now we're going to go into a child's pose, which is taking your bottom down towards the heels. You can put a pillow or a cushion or a block to bridge the gap between your bottom and your heels. And then you're going to reach the hands out in front of you. Splay the fingers. Try and stretch right through to the very, very tips of your fingertips. Lovely. And then you're going to unfold, coming onto your tummies. And you're going to rest up on your elbow like I'm showing you here now. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then you're going to bend your knee to kick your heel to your bum. And then release. Same leg, same thing. Kick the heel to the bum and release. And you should feel a bit of a pull up the front of the thigh. We'll do that again. We'll do it another twice. Good. And then we swap to the other side. Just see if you can pull the shoulders down away from your ears a little bit. We'll do 5 kicks to the bum with the other leg. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. Now we're going to lower the torso down, just using one arm as a pillow. And you can rest your head off to one side. And then you're going to bend the knee again. This time we're going to hold our stretch. So you're trying to pull the heel in towards the bottom. If you can't get a hold of your foot, maybe you can get a hold of your sock. If you can't get a hold of your sock, get a hold of your trouser leg. If you can't get a hold of anything, just get as close as you possibly can. But if you can, using that extra overpressure to squeeze the heel in towards the bottom, push the hips in towards the floor, and feel a nice strong stretch up the front of your thigh. Marvellous. And then we're going to release that. And then we'll swap to the other side. So it's easier if you kind of swap your hand over. And then pulling the heel in towards the bum, getting hold of whichever bit of a prop you can. Hips in towards the floor. Squeeze the heel in. Feeling that stretch and hold it there. Marvellous. Good. And then you're going to release. And I'd like you to come over onto your side, using your elbow as a little bit of a pillow. And it's a similar stretch now. Both knees are bent. That will just hopefully make you feel a little bit more kind of stable in this sideline position. You're going to get a hold of your ankle, bringing the knee up and in towards you, and then you take the knee away. And you're trying to push the thigh as far back as you can and allow your lower back to arch a little bit. Good. And then come through. And as you come through, maybe just round the back a little bit. So you're almost trying to get sort of chin to knee. So you curve and round. And then extend and open. Good. Curve and round. Extend and open. We'll do 2 more. Good. Lovely. Now, as we make our way over to the other side, you're going to have a little pause up in the middle. And what I'd like you to try and do is this bottom leg, just slide it up, and then the back one sort of tucks underneath. So you're in this Z sit position. If this doesn't feel comfortable for your hips, your alternative position is to sit with the legs out in front like this. But if you can get into Z sit, then we do a side to side or our mermaid stretch whilst we're in that position. If your legs are out in front, the arms look the same, just going over and over. So whichever position you've chosen, keep swaying between those movements. So this is a good one, obviously, to lengthen at the side of the torso, but it also gets a little bit more of a stretch down towards the hips, especially if you're able to get into this Z sit. Good, we'll do one more to each side. Super stuff. And then we're kind of on our way to go over and lie on the other side. So we will do our knee and open on this side. So get yourself comfortable, get yourself propped up on your hand, bring your knee up towards your chest, grab a hold of your ankle. We start by rounding the back and then extend and open. Good. Come forward, knee towards the head, and then open, take that leg back, arch the back a little bit, squeeze the heel in towards the bottom. We'll do 3 more. Breathe in, we come forward. Breathe out, you go back. Breathe in, you come forward. Breathe out, you go back. Last one, in, you come forward. Out, you go back. Marvelous. And then we need to get our Z sit set up for the other side. So you come up, bottom leg scoops forward, back one is going to stay tucked underneath. And you might find that you've got one side that's kind of easier to settle into than the other. I'm prompted to say that because this is my more challenging side. I have to really work to get this hip down in towards the floor, but that's okay. When we're working on it, we're working to improve it. Same as before, if you're uncomfortable in the Z sit, just sit with your feet out in front, but we're going to take the arms the same with the side to side. And you're trying to keep both sitting bones connected towards, if not on the floor, over and over. That's it. Getting your upper arm as close to your ear as you can as you lean across. Up and over. Up and over. Exhale as you go. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you go. Inhale at the top. One more each way. Good. And then if you are in Z sit, untangle your legs, bring them out in front of you. If you've already got them there, then marvelous. And then I'm going to get you to go into more of a kind of ragdoll position. So taking both legs out straight, pulling the toes up towards you. Try and get your kneecaps looking up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take a lean over towards this side. So I want you to place one hand either side of your leg, just framing that position there. We want the breastbone pointing in the direction of your middle toe. And then you're going to crawl your hands forwards, reaching out, try and keep both sitting bones down towards the floor. Reach, 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 reach. And then you can reach for your foot or your ankle. And then just pull yourself a little bit further forward, feeling that big, strong stretch up the back of the thigh. Good. And then uncurl. You're coming back to center. We're going to do the same to the other side. So one hand either side of the leg, breastbone pointing in the direction of your middle toe, and then creep those hands forward. Trying to keep both sitting bones down towards the floor. And then if you're able to reach to your toes, or your ankle, or your shin, bring the hands into the middle and pull yourself either on your leg or on your foot. Pull yourself a little bit further forward. Hold there. Pushing both sit bones in towards the floor. And then come back into the middle. We're going to do that twice more to each side. So frame the leg. Walk the hands forward. Grab for the toes. Ankle or shin. Sitting bones towards the floor. 2 deep breaths to hold. Good, come back up, and then we'll go to the other side. Frame the foot, or frame the leg rather. Creep the fingertips forwards. Reach and reach. Breathe. Good. Back to the middle again, and we'll do one more to each side. Frame the leg. Creep those fingers forward. Hold the feet. Relax the legs. I know that might sound a silly thing, but just consciously switch off those muscles, particularly at the front of the thigh. 2 big deep breaths. Good. Back up in center, and last time going over towards this side now. So frame your leg. Walk those fingers forward. Good. Grab the toes, the ankle, the shin. Reach, reach, reach. 2 big deep breaths. Good. And then back up to the middle. Now you're going to need to straighten those legs. And then soles of the feet together. Dropping your knees down towards the floor. And you can maybe just rock the movement a little bit. Give those legs just a bit of a jiggle. And you'll feel a bit of an opening around the inner thigh, I hope. Up nice and tall. And then just settle. Good. We're now going to bring you back up into standing, please. So carefully making your way back up into a standing position. Taking the feet to about hip width apart. Letting the arms just hang. Chest open. Lift and pull up through the crown of the head. Marvelous. And then I want you to take your palms facing forward to me. Arms up and out to the side. Reach right through the middle fingers in either direction. So I want you to make your wingspan as wide as it possibly can be. You're then going to soften the elbows. Bend the elbows so your fingertips come and just rest behind your ears. Leaning over towards that side. So over you go. Good. See if you can get your elbow pointing up towards the ceiling. Come back up in the center. Make sure the elbows are wide, bottom tucked underneath. Over we go the other way. Good. Elbow up towards the ceiling. Come back up. Reaching the arms out to the side again. Splay your fingers as wide as you can. Bring the arms down by the side. Wiggle your fingers. Shake the arms out. Give the legs a little bit of a jiggle. Give everything a little bit of a jiggle. And then just settle. And that is your stretch and mobility routine complete for Monday morning if you're joining me live, or whenever if you're on catch up or watch again. We'll be back next Monday, 10 a.m. with another live routine, and I will upload this later for you to watch again. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.